Okay, so in my, I guess you could say, first real relationship, I've come across a strange phenomena that I can now observe as an adult is pretty much available in all kinds of transactions, not just relationship transactions. And this is what I call, first it's the cheat race, but if they develop too much confidence, it becomes the cuck race. And what this is asserting sexual contact with others while being in a romantic or sexual commitment or agreement to another person. Now, it sounds strange that somebody would want to do this. What's the purpose of being with a person? What's the purpose of making sexual connections while being with a person when you can just make those sexual connections on their own? What is the purpose of going through somebody else and then doing it behind their back? What does that gain? Now, I've come to understand why this works. It does not work. I want you to understand right now it does not work. It doesn't work whatsoever. You're screwing things over. That's summarize this whole thing. Okay, all right, so here's what's assumed going on. It's assumed that every time you get away with cheating, every time someone gets away with cheating, that they develop a cheat space. And like everything being collected, this space is pretty much generating a field of thinking, logic, and room and occurrence that allows for to get away with doing more things over time. The idea is that if I stole a pen from you and you don't know that I stole it, then there's a hole in what you have going on and I'm aware of that and you're not. And this allows me to easier manipulate you. That's the idea. That's what's going on here. So, here's pretty much how it's perceived to work. In any exchange, there is an obligation in order for that exchange to be met in equality. So, if in order to receive A, you must follow or do B, then it feels that when you receive A, but you also have to do B, then you barely gained anything because you also had to give in order to receive. The idea that they believe they're acting on is that when they receive A, but appear to be acting on B, but then when you're looking away, they take B back. They believe that they've gained more, that because you're unaware, that they still have more space developed and they have not lost anything, and so they see themselves as gaining even more by this transaction. Now, I say that it becomes a cuck race because at this point, if you become suspicious but are not willing to make the accusation or fight, then at that point it can be assumed that this person had so little defense that they were able to be moved on and around without consequences, selling to these people the idea that there was a whole person, a whole space that they did not have to respect in order to exist, giving them a feeling of more power, more room, of more space. Now, here's the flaw. The reason that all trades need to be balanced is because when things are balanced, for instance, if I give you something and then you give me something back that's of equal value, then it's almost as if nothing happened. But nothing is still happening. That's confusing. That means that something's continuing by the frustration of balanced confusion, of balanced frustration. And so, every time things seem to have not changed, that lack of something going on is still something that has greater energy that produces more matter naturally in a smooth frustration. Here's what these cheaters are doing. They believe that whenever they take from you and don't have to give you anything, that they've gained twice and that you've lost. But here's the issue with that. If you're a fair person, then outside of their field of vision, you're still fair, you're still giving, and you're still receiving. And this is creating equilibrium, balance, that appears as if nothing has occurred, which is so high a contradiction that it frustrates. And all forms of frustration are producing some form of energy. Think about it like this. If you'd like to figure something out but can't, your brain becomes frustrated while thinking about it. That frustration is the energy being used, the energy being created in order to piece together what you're trying to think of. Here's what really goes on with these people that cuck, cheat, steal, or try to smuggle, or try to cheat, or try to, con people. So, they perceive you as the loser because they gained without having to give an equal response. They think that they have more in that moment. But because what they're doing is breaking equilibrium balance, now we can say that there is definitely a loser, that somebody is gaining and somebody is losing. And not only that, but that somebody is more than someone else. So, when these guys claim that they want to be in a relationship with you, but then also have the intention to cheat because they think that it provides them more space, what happens is they believe that they are getting bigger, that they are gaining more. But because what they are doing is generating loss implication is anything that happens that suggests that there is not enough room or space for people to be respected, for people to be safe, for people to be continued. This is loss implication. It means that we're losing space every time somebody is violated, every time something crashes into something and it's not enjoyed, all those things. And so these people that feel like they're actually gaining something from these cheats, from these cucks, what's actually happening is the space around them is shrinking, and as it shrinks, within that relative field of perspective, they appear to be bigger. They appear to be getting bigger. This is why all the people doing this, and I know an example of a person, their situation is getting worse and worse with seemingly no resolve available to them. Because in that moment, they feel like they're winning. They feel like they've done it. I got something on this person that they don't know. I got something that they're not aware of. I can manipulate them through this. They don't know about this. I have it. I can manipulate them. That's what they think. But really, let's say I'm so fair that I don't even have to worry about losing a pin. I get another pin. I don't care. But you're now living a life where you think that you constantly got to take something from someone else without them knowing in order to have control. Now your entire existence is making sure that you're also not being stolen from. This is time. This is energy that you cannot put into taking care of yourself, that you cannot put into organizing yourself, that you cannot put into actually becoming a healthy, functioning adult. So, if you would stop this behavior of trying to get something behind someone's back because you feel in that moment that it gave you more space, more room to act, you would end up with 3 pins that you actually own rather than one that you stole. Do not intend to keep up sexual interactions with multiple people if you would also like to have an obligated commitment with one person. Now here's the issue I have. My experience was this person wanted to cheat, but also wanted me not to. This was flawed. This is not something that I would have agreed to before that point in a relationship. I was stolen from. Loss implied. I'm being called by them right now.